yeah, it's like the psychology and trading. I'd say it's a little more heavy because at the end of the day, most other fields you have like security and a salary,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
may not be much, but you have that security to pay your bills. In
yes,
trading, that security is no longer there. Every trade has a risk to it, and just as long as you're managing your trades to your situation, to
yes,
your
sir.
financial situation, you should be very well off if you're following and being disciplined in accordance to your trading strategy.
Yo, 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 welcome back to another payouts session. Nah, just kidding. Another payout story. The name is Sir Hans Felix, and we have, brother, introduce yourself, man.
You got your boy Shafath Akter, otherwise known as FX by Snow.
AKA the swole
Yeah.
man of New York.
Yeah, bro. Gotta get back
Swole
into it,
Pips
man.
FX.
Yes, sir. You already know.
Yeah, I like that. Swole Pips FX. But yeah, go ahead and continue to introduce yourself, bro. Tell them where you're from. Tell them your story. This is your time to shine, brother. I'm just here to listen. Go ahead.
All right. Well, my name again is Shafath Akter. I'm from, well, born and raised here in New York. I was out living in the Bronx for a majority of my life,
Mm.
particularly in the Grand Concourse, and now I'm over here in Long Island. Guys say completely different demographic, a lot more, it's a lot more chill, a lot more easy over here, you know?
Really?
It's not as hectic or as loud, man.
The
Yeah,
Bronx?
really.
Oh, Long Island, Long Island.
Yeah,
Yeah, LI, LI.
Long
Yeah, yeah,
Island, yeah, Long Island
yeah,
is
yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
easy.
I was about
For
to
the living,
say,
man.
shout out to
A
the
lot more
Bronx,
calm.
though. Shout out to the Bronx.
Yeah, of course, man. That's where I was born and raised, man. The Grand
Yeah,
Concourse, one
but
six
LI
seven.
is definitely a lot more peaceful. Like anyway,
Yeah,
you know it better
it's
than
like two
me.
different countries, bro. But
Talk about it.
yeah,
Talk.
man. And it's funny. This is when I moved to Long Island about 2 years ago. It's when I first started training. I mean, trading.
Mm,
Um, uh, I would say that trading honestly came from an idea of actually making much more capital and income than what I was making in personal training, which I
hmm
thought was actually a little bit difficult to believe in because I was making pretty good money, I think, in personal training,
Yeah,
whether it was individually, like independently, or even at Equinox Flatiron, which was the gym that I worked for as a
that
tier three
brother worked for
trainer, as a tier three
Equinox.
trainer.
That's some. Hey,
Yeah,
you were
man.
training these high ticket clients, boy. I know you was.
Yeah, bro. Definitely, man. And it's crazy too because my mornings is now that different from now in trading than it is from back then because I would have 5 a.m. clients to like around 10 to 11 a.m. clients, and then
hmm
that's when I'll be
hmm
free the whole entire day. And when I look at it right now, it's literally what I'm doing, looking at like post London session and then moving on to like New York session. After
Right.
New York session's like over, I'm pretty much done trading by like 1 p.m. That's the reason why I want to schedule this interview around this time because now I'm like free for the rest of the day. I don't got anything to do besides maybe a few
Yeah.
tours, a little shopping here and there.
I love it, bro. So we already spoke prior to this interview. So some people who don't know our backgrounds. So my boy Shafat here, he was a personal trainer just like me. And so I used to work for Export Fitness. Shout out to Export Fitness. And when I first started trading, like it started in 2016. So by the time I started being in the fitness world, I would start like training clients. But since sometimes, like if the client cancels, I'm like, oh, I don't need this. I'm just gonna jump in my car, wait for the next client, and be trading either New York session or sometimes London session. If I had a client at 5 a.m., so I would drive from Maryland to Virginia, Northern Virginia, and then I would pretty much like wait and miss out on the traffic and just be in my car. So I definitely relate with that, bro. So much so that I remember in 2019, one of my clients was like, "Man, what you doing on your phone?" I told her like 12 reps, and then I just so I could get in US 30. And
Oh
then,
man.
by the way, I took one of my biggest losses in gold doing a group fitness session, and I was like,
Oh,
"Burpees, burpees,
snap.
burpees." And then after they were done with the burpees, I was like, "All right, go ahead and hop on the treadmill. Speed 6, incline 3, 2 minutes. Go, 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 go." And then I'm like, yes, now I have some time to check in on my trades. Bro, next thing I know, somebody was like, Hans, it's been 2 minutes. I said, oh, snap, sorry. What's the next exercise? And I'm like, TRXYs. Get off, TRXYs. And then by the time I look, bro, Gold did the craziest spike known to man. And I lost like 3 grand that day, bro. I did not want to finish that group fitness class, bro. They're like, Hans, why did your
Yeah.
mood change all of a sudden? I'm like, you guys gonna pay for it. You don't even know.
Like, yo, what's wrong
Incline
with you?
6, speed 7, 5
Oh
minutes.
man, I can imagine too, man, because those
Yeah.
group classes are intense.
Yo, speaking of intense, bro, shout out to US 30 right now. They can't see it, but we in profit right now, boy.
And that
Ah,
short from earlier.
yeah, that short is shorting very well right now, man. Yes, sir. Look at that, sir. We selling, Brody. We selling. Let's take a quick look at the markets real quick.
Yes,
This is
sir.
good. This is getting good. Let's see. Let's see. Boom. All right. EU is doing what I thought it would, but yes, sir. Look at that. Look at that. And I just
Yeah.
finished a live session. Shout out to those of you guys who were tuning in and caught the same cells. Man, we are doing pretty good right now. We're doing pretty good right now. Not to cut you off, Brody.
No,
Let's
of
go
course
ahead and
not,
keep
brother.
it funky. Obviously, this is an interview. We are traders, so of course you had to expect this. You had to expect this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look
Yeah, man, it's dropping. And then
Absolutely.
if it definitely breaks that 37,100, then it's gonna be a break of structure,
It's
and then
gonna
just
be a
fall from
big
there.
one.
It's gonna melt.
Definitely. So, with that being said, bro, what is your current most profitable setup, and what is your best pair to trade?
All right. So for strategy wise, I know it's always good to stick to one strategy, but the thing is, sometimes from my personal experience in the past 2 years, almost 2.5 years of trading, I've noticed that when you're trying to be profitable, because again, I had to leave the fitness industry where I was making a pretty decent amount of money into a completely new industry where my own money, my own capital is at risk, as opposed to, being paid a salary from corporate or being, making your own money, being your own boss, as in from like each client individually. Now it's like I have a risk of actually losing money. And again,
Mm,
being in New York, we have to pay rent, we got bilbills, we got a whole bunch of shit we own, assets that we got to maintain all the time. So, with that being said, I'm a little bit more skeptical on sticking to one strategy. However, I will stick to all the confluences and the discipline that's required.
mm-hmm.
But I utilize two different strategies just in case if I don't see as many confirmations for one strategy, I'll make a note of it in my journal, which is right here on my desk in my office as well.
Ah, shout
Shout,
out to the
yeah,
journals. I got a
shout out.
virtual journal and a physical journal.
Oh, snap. Everyone's
Yeah.
on TradeZilla right now for the virtual journals.
Ah, Trey Zella, you like that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I think I might probably sign up and work with it, see how it works. But this physical journal is more a little more old school, kind of like how I do all my workouts and programming as well. So I've just kind of stick to it. And shout out to Luca from NLT, who was a part of Fortunes before as
Hey, shout
well.
out Luca. Shout out
Yep,
Luca.
Luca is actually the one that got me into actually journaling all my not trades, but also like psychology, how I am.
Mm,
So that played a big part. And I started realizing when I was doing just one strategy and just looking at the time of the day, there are 24 hours to trade between, the trading days. However, you might not always find a confluence and you might not always be able to make money off of one strategy, which is the reason why I run two of them. First
yes,
one is the very first one that I learned. I think we went over it yesterday from supply and demand.
yes,
But
sir.
I use primarily EQ levels and looking at where market can go to based on prehistoric history.
Mm,
And then my second strategy is something that I use a little bit more frequently because it gives a lot more opportunities in the market between pre-London, post-London, and also pre-New York session as well.
mm-hmm.
And post-New York session is where all the trades should be completed, finished off, done for the day. Don't look at that strategy anymore, which is a TMA strategy that I learned from videos online from a guy named Artie or the moving average.
Okay. Yeah, I think I heard
Yeah,
something. Yeah, yeah.
and that revolves mainly around moving averages, but I still drop my support and resistance and everything of that sort, or EQ levels or whatever anyone wants to call it. And then from there, based on price action, which is king, it's what I follow suit with.
Let me ask you a question. Do you notice back in October more than well, it doesn't just happen in just October. Did you notice like all the setups would play between 5 and 8 a.m.? And it's like that
Yeah,
perfect 3 hour hold or 2.5 hour hold for London setups, bro. They were so crispy. Oh,
yeah. That's the reason why like the trading times here in New York,
yeah.
especially for like, back when we were trainers to like right now, it just resonates so well.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it just works together. Because by the time you're waking up, you're either waking up in London session or post London to analyze and get ready for New York. It's just kind of a blessing in itself, that we don't really realize, I guess you can say. Because there's some people around the world that got like the most ridiculous sleep schedules because of trading. You know what I
That's a
mean?
fact. I'm one of them. Looking right at them. And it's crazy because I remember when I was like full-time personal training, and then I was like slowly transitioning to becoming like a part-time slash full-time trader. My whole dream was to trade and train. Train in the morning. No,
Yeah,
trade in the morning and train in the afternoon. So when you were telling me like, man, by 1 p.m. I'm done, I'm like, yep, that sounds exactly like the time window where you could go eat, grab a snack, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then from 3 to 7 or 3 to 8 p.m., you get like your most, prominent clients, or maybe three
yeah,
to seven, you go work out with the fellas and whatnot. By 11, you're knocked out, and then you could literally wake up at 4 a.m. just to, have your first, breakfast with all the macros and the carbs and the proteins,
that's
you know,
right.
and then, by 8 a.m., bro, not only are you eating, but you eating these profits too, yo.
It's crazy
So,
because my client was actually a trader. I have a few clients that are doing really well in trading right now,
yeah,
and they were going to school, some of them, and some of them were doing a full time. Some of them were working in banking, and it's crazy. I never realized how like 2 years or a couple of years later, after quitting from corporate world, personal training into like independent training and having all this time to myself, that I'll be trading myself. But it's just crazy, it's a small world how everything is as well. And
very
one
small
thing could lead
world.
to another.
Yeah. And I remember yesterday you were telling me the story where like you would be wondering what the heck your client is doing. You told him to do 8 more reps. And
Yeah,
he's like, bro, how many reps did you say, man? All in his phone.
man,
And then
this
you probably
guy.
would have been doing the same thing too, if the roles had
Yeah, I would
switched.
have. The thing is, this guy had a whole tablet with him everywhere he went, bro.
I
I
bet
seen
you
it
he
too
was
with all
training
the
you at
tabs.
30, sweating. And you thought this whole
Bro,
time it was your workout that was killing him.
nah, man,
It was not his
it wasn't
workout.
the burpees. It
It
was the
wasn't the
whales.
burpees.
It was the news.
That's crazy. All right, so the people also want to know like what was your payout and if this was your first ever payout with an evaluation firm.
So this was one of the very first payouts that they received, yes,
Let's
from
go.
Fortune's Funds, and this was the first account that I had with Fortune's Funds, and I was
What?
actually put onto this Fortune's Funding back when it first came out in February by Luca again, as well as Ali from
Shout
Quick and
out
Dip.
Luca. Damn.
Yeah,
Two
no,
for
also Ali
two
from
for
Quick and Dip.
Luca.
Yeah, and then I stuck with them, and I also looked at a few other firms,
Mm-hmm.
and again from trading supply and demand, trading gold is the one thing that I would say trading gold is kind of like a double-edged blade. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money, because I mean, all the nicknames you can get for gold, Goldilocks, or whatever you want to call them, it's so volatile, and volatility can make you profitable if you stick to the rules of your trading strategy or one that's profitable. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it's so volatile that it can wreak havoc mentally and psychologically. Because with those pullbacks from time to time, right when it's about to hit your TP, like, oh, let me close early, let me take profits here and
Yeah.
there. But then
Oh.
the next thing you know, it just goes according to your basis of your analysis in
Oh
the
my
first place.
gosh, bro.
That's
That's
just
the
nerve wracking.
worst. Oh, that's the worst. Oh my gosh. I hate that crap, bro, because
Yeah,
now you're like, wait, was I not supposed to trust my analysis? Well,
yeah.
could have. Well,
But
when I trust my analysis on you, go like when I do hold, then you come back all the way at break even. But when I don't
yeah,
hold, that's when you want to drop 300 pips. So what is it? And at the end of the day, you still got to fuck around and find out. You got to
yeah,
live and die by the
man.
sword, bro. It's the
It's
craziest thing.
gotta
So,
get your reps in too, Just like in the gym,
yeah,
how you get your reps in, you gotta get your reps in on trading as
until
well.
failure.
Yep, that's right, man. The
Uh-huh.
only difference I think with trading is that the psychological, I guess, intensity is much more difficult than it is for like most other industries. Because I've been in multiple industries working from a very young age because of financial difficulties that my parents had as immigrants. So I had
Yeah.
to work at a very young age, and I worked for many different places, starting off young from vendors all the way to like retail, and then many different businesses in terms of like working out of commissions, selling products, definitely running door to door. Man, those type of jobs are
Yeah.
like those are rough,
Yeah.
man.
Oh
If
yeah.
anyone that sticks to it and actually did well, I applaud you. Those jobs are not easy at all,
Not easy.
especially if you're consistently making money in sales. That's difficult. And from there, honestly, even in healthcare, man, working in the ED or the emergency department, it's
Yeah.
as intense as it can be over there, seeing people with missing body parts, registering people out like sick or walking them out in body
Transporting the
bags.
big bodies to the next room. Yeah, they
Bro,
loved you over there, huh? It's like, yeah,
oh
yeah,
man.
Shafath, come here, come here, come here.
I
Yeah,
didn't,
can
I
you
didn't, I
push?
didn't even work for transport, and they wanted me to move
Yeah, I
people
bet.
around.
Yeah, they
You
love you
know?
over there, boy. They're like, yeah, can you help
Yeah,
push this client? Next thing you know, your lower back feeling tense. You can't remember if it was your squat or it was
uh,
your deadlift or it was that dead patient.
yeah, bro.
No
It's
puns, no puns.
crazy. No offense, man.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's like the psychology and trading, I'd say it's a little more heavy because at the end of the day, most other fields you have like security and a salary,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
may not be much, but you have that security to pay your bills. In
yes.
trading, that security is no longer there
Mm,
because you are, again, what's the most important thing that you have to pay attention to in trading? Your risk management.
management.
So again, every trade has a risk to it, and just as long as you're managing your trades to your situation, to
Yes,
your
sir.
financial situation, you should be very well off if you're following and being disciplined in accordance to your trading strategy or whatever trading strategies you may use. It can be supply and demand, EQ levels, fair value gaps. Shout out to Luca again. He taught me that. Fair value gaps. This guy like put
It's
me on a lot, man.
333.
Yeah, Luca and Lewis from the $1 Million Plan, especially Lewis from the $1 Million Plan. Seeing his consistency and seeing his room, how like consistent he is with trading and scalping gold, it really motivated me to be able to continue to trade gold. Because I'll tell you, during the second quarter of this year, I did not want to trade that much.
Bro, I left gold alone. It was my
Uh,
toxic pair. I threw it in the basket of toxic pairs. I'm like, bro, I'm not trading you.
you know
Like,
exactly what I'm talking about, then, man. During
yeah.
Q2 this year, I didn't touch it at all. Not one
Man, I used
trade.
to have this beautiful strategy. It's the New York Open reversal for gold.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Based off
gold will
Asian London.
buy 930, reject 940, break structure 945, retest. I'm in the retest stop loss right behind the market open sweep, and we're going for 50, 60, 70, sometimes 120 pips, whatever it was, bro. Like by 1030,
Yeah.
I'm done. And I used to
Yeah.
love it. I used to love it. And then all
And
of a
literally just
sudden,
2 to 3 lots on that will just make you, it will
bro,
make you good enough for the year if you
anything
calculate it,
is a
bro.
goal. That setup was so deuce, bro. And then all of a sudden, the algorithm is like, all right, we've had enough with you guys. It
That's when
started
liquidity
bullshit.
drops started jumping in, man, and
Yeah,
sweeping out those SLs. I
hell
remember that.
yeah.
That's
And
the
I was
reason why I
like,
stopped trading gold for Q2 because all of a sudden liquidity was consistently being taken during that quarter. And I was like, yo, this strategy is not working because
yep,
halfway through the month, the first month, I'm like, damn, this is like a 0% win rate right now. I'm
yeah.
like, all right, let me take a step back, reevaluate, backtest this, and trade something else.
Damn, bro. You just made me think like just looking back at this year, I blew a couple funded accounts, couple challenges, even with fortunes, off of gold. And I'm like, damn, my setups is not working. And bro, it gets scary when you are realizing that what you know is messed up. I'm not messed up. What you know is messed with. Meaning, like we're only as good as what we know and what works. So
Yeah,
when it
correct.
stops working, you start to ask yourself, "Damn, did I lose my edge? Did I lose my mojo?" Like, damn. But the best traders have to learn to adapt. And so
Mhm.
you have to take a couple of days off just to go back and to becoming a uh a scientist, a behavioral scientist. You're sitting here just looking at behavior, seeing how prices react. And he's like, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, the next time I'm gonna pull up and exercise that theory. And bro, it's scary, bro. Like
Yeah.
you really thought the fair value gap was fair valuing, and next thing you know, you're the gap and you're liquidity at the same time. It's not fun. It's
Oh god, yeah, the liquidity they're looking for.
right. It ain't no fun when you're the liquidity.
Oh man, and it's funny too because what you said is very important. I don't think a lot of people understand this. If this does go on, YouTube or whatnot, and people are reading or looking at this, understand this. Until you come to that realization that Hans Felix just made, you are very likely not aware of what you're doing in this industry. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because of this. Again, this journaling. Thank you, Luca. This journaling has it brings so much clarity into the realization of not only what you're doing, how you're doing it, but most importantly, the end results of how well you could be or how well can you work with trading. Because
Hmm.
again, they say that trading isn't for everyone, but I think the reason why that quote is so popular is because not everyone can stay disciplined or consistent. If we
It's
take it to
true.
the gym, where like you and me, this is what we could relate on. I'm pretty sure many people can relate on. When
Yep.
they go to the gym, they follow a program. Next thing I know, maybe for like a week, a month, I'll follow this diet, I work out, I do this exercise, I do the bench press, I do the squats, I do the deadlifts. But then the second month comes, and then all of a sudden everything's falling apart because they're not keeping up with the diet, not going to the gym as frequently. And
Yep.
because of that, maybe they're going backwards, they're getting a little weaker instead of stronger. And
Yep.
now it's like, whoa, what's going on? I thought I was doing good. But then you look at all these behavioral patterns and the discipline, and it's not there. And that's the reason
Right.
why yesterday I said something really important. And that was that consistency is not enough.
It's not.
It's not. What you have to be is consistent and being persistently progressive. If you're not
Yep.
persistently progressive or not trying to be progressive, then
Mm.
hey, you could be in the same spot. Because remember, consistency can be mundane. It can be doing the same thing over and
Yeah.
over again
It really could
without
be
having any
mundane, bro.
results. You know. And
And
then
if you
remember the
don't
word.
fall in love with the boringness of consistency,
Yep.
not gonna survive.
Like you have to stay through all those days where you can't take a trade because it's not coming to like confluences,
Mm-hmm.
or just because you're taking a couple of losses, you can't just flip strategies. You have to backtest, see what's going wrong, and be able to catch all these things. But the thing is again, the discipline is lacking from majority of the people that are trading, which is the reason why you look at statistics of trading between the failed challenges, and the ones that passed, or even the ones that get funded and get payouts. It's a little scary at times when we look at the numbers. But however, if you look at the behavioral patterns between the people who are passing and the people who are getting payouts, you will see that there are patterns that match each other and are very similar. And it's because, again, they're consistently, progressively doing better and better at their craft. And they're not just trying to, half-ass it with signals or just following someone's trading patterns or styles or whatever. They're learning from it. They're literally dissecting the strategy itself, seeing what works for them, taking along that, and then combining it with their own. Instead of doing copy and paste, I feel like a lot of people will be much more profitable if they just are able to understand trading from a standpoint where they can digest information as opposed to just copying and pasting. Because again, not everybody learns.
Woo! Great point, bro. And that just added another layer to fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Because you have the fear of taking losses,
Yep.
uncertain about your future, and doubting your own self, your own skill set. When really
Yeah.
you have to trial and error. There's no sugarcoating it, there's no cookie cutter way out of it. You have to learn to adapt and evolve every time. Oh, this didn't work? Okay. This strategy wasn't good for me? Okay. All right. Damn, the secret is in my preparation. Wow, I have to wake up 2 hours early. Okay. Oh man, you know what? Instead of adding big lot sizes, maybe I should scale in the positions and break them down into three or four. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn to know yourself. But some people aren't willing to discover that layer about themselves because they've been masking their identity by coping with different things that they believe they should be good at. But really, when it comes down to it, you only become better at knowing yourself or becoming confident in your craft by trial and error, knowing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what you can improve on. And that's why it's not for everybody because, bro, you have a passion and you literally transition that passion in everything you do that requires commitment and persistence and what uh what's the word you said?
Discipline.
Discipline. So it was not easy, but it was simple for you to understand and break down the layers and how trading can work for you. And so, bro, like if somebody cannot wake up at a specific time every time and do the journaling and all of that, bro, they're not going to. Especially if you're just too obsessed about making the profit
Yep,
instead of the process. Ooh,
exactly. And then the thing is, it's normal. I don't want people to feel discouraged if they're not able to attend this level of focus or discipline,
right,
because at the end of the day, if you're not living with your parents again, and I understand this because I moved out at a very young age, because again, I've been working for a very, very long time since a very young age. If you're not living with your parents and you have responsibilities, and look, playing video games or paying for subscriptions, that's not responsibility. By responsibilities, I mean paying rent,
right,
paying your car insurance, paying for
yeah,
gas, electricity, or utilities, everything of that sort, and then paying for your food. That has to come first, besides, what your family may need, because you have to provide for your family as well. Those come first. You have to make sure that you have a plan in place with risk management, which again is very important.
hmm
Shout out to Luis again from Million Dollar Plan. Honestly, learned a whole bunch from him. Highly recommend everyone look into him. Um, Again, you need to have a risk management plan based off your financial situation. You have to understand how much money you need to make and how you can make it through a strategy. So, looking at the losses for each loss, if this is the amount of money that I'm losing per trade, okay, fine, great. But now I need to look at how much money am I making from my profitable trades, from my wins. Does it overcome my losses?
sure,
Does it pay my bills after I overcome those
agreed.
losses? After taxes, will I be able to have the
Yes.
money for it?
Oh, you
This is the
speaking
thing
the
that a lot of people don't
you
understand, you
preaching
know?
right now, boy. It's true. There's a
Yeah,
lot that comes with it that most people don't talk about because, bro, you're literally like surviving off of the unknown,
that's
but
right.
at the same time, you have to like still figure it out because if you don't figure out, then who else is gonna figure it out for you?
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people dig themselves in a hole that they can barely get out of when
Yeah,
they just jump into this wholeheartedly without having a plan in place. That's why risk management, discipline, psychology, all aspects of trading is very crucial. You
very,
know, even though you could have a job that will, give you security in terms of salary, even at a regular job or a corporate job, as a personal trainer, if you worked at a gym, I'm pretty sure you had a certain criteria to meet because I know Equinox did. So they wanted me to have a certain amount of clients. They wanted me to have a certain amount of sessions. They wanted me to be full time. They wanted me to do at least 42 sessions, every payout. They wanted me to be able to have people on board, do a certain amount of equal fits, be able to keep in contact, cold leads, hot leads,
sheesh.
everything.
Did you used to
You
walk
know,
around the gym just like
we
trying to
had
strike
shifts like that.
conversation?
Yeah, we
Ah,
had mandatory shifts, 3 hour mandatory shifts during certain
oh
days of the
man.
week. Certain hours were peak hours where they have peak members. You can
Yeah.
go in, you have to talk to them, you have to
Ask
put
for
the
a
weights
free
back.
session.
Yep, pretty much. And
Yo,
that's how we got leads. That's how we got leads, brother. It wasn't easy, but
some of
again, I
the
kudos to everybody as a trainer. Yeah, doing
right.
your work. It's
It's
not easy. It's
tough.
all sales. Yeah, definitely, man. Because
Some
I've
of the
been
customers used to hate it too because like they knew around that time when people started walking and they just
like,
like cruising on their
oh, this
workout.
guy's about to sell me some shit, man.
Yeah. Oh man, he's about to tell me, yo,
Yeah,
do I want a free session? No, I don't want a free session, bro. I know where this is going.
yeah, man. And to
So
be honest, it's crazy
yeah,
between the pay too, because sometimes there'll be days where you wouldn't make money in trading and may lose money. And then there were days when you were training people and you're like, damn, I didn't have anyone signed on to this day, so I didn't make any
right.
money today, It's
Yeah.
it's
It
crazy.
can, it can definitely uh it can definitely relate with the both, like both career choices definitely have their ups and downs and but
Yeah,
still you got to learn to love it. You got to learn to love
exactly.
it.
Gotta
So,
learn to live all of it.
where do you see yourself in the next 2 years or for 2024, bro, as a trader, as an individual?
Ooh.
Where do you where do you fit right now?
All right. So for 2024 and 2025 as a trader,
Mhm.
now this is the thing too. I think James Storms, you, and several other prominent figures in the trading industry have mentioned this, that when you
Mhm.
make money from trading, you shouldn't just keep make money from trading. You should be able to venture out to different ventures and capitals, and that's exactly what I'm looking forward to in 2024 due to the profits
Sir.
made and the profit that's consistently going to be made. And I look at myself for trading in particular. I'm not going to mention the other businesses, keep it strictly trading. For trading in particular, I will be trying to go for at least over 1 to 2 million in funded accounts. That's one goal that I'm going
Don't
to
say
keep to myself.
trying. James hates it when I say that.
Yeah, I
So
know.
now I had to
I'm
switch it
going
to
to.
on a mission. Yes, I'm on
Yeah,
a
so
mission too.
I'm going to receive about 1 to 2 million in funded accounts, and I want to leave that as like a portfolio besides the ones that I've been growing my own personal capital to
Nice.
show that it's possible, the possibilities in trading, and then be able to come up with some type of depiction of education that's easily digestible, probably for like a year or two, and then stop that immediately. I don't want to leave that out for too long, just because I know that again, these strategies may work temporarily, seasonal, or they may work
Mm-hmm.
long term. Just depends on what you're doing with it.
Mm.
But it's not something that I want to do in the long run. After being exposed to this industry and even working for a few people's discords and just seeing the hypocrisy and like the poor verbal vocabulary in terms of how they're manipulating people, man, it's
Yeah.
pure bullshit. This is the reason why I don't really want to be in that industry where you're a prominent figure or like you're teaching others how to trade really as much. I just want to try to see how I can do it as an educator. Because again,
Right.
I've educated people in fitness supplementation, so let me see if I can do it in trading. If I'm successful, great. It was a nice experience. But now I'll just leave that where it is and just move on to something else because real estate is something I want to get into next. But again, for trading, it should be about 1 to 2 million in funded accounts, and I want to receive at least anywhere between a quarter to like half a million in payouts.
Mm.
And then from there, I
Mm.
will, after disclosing all the information of it publicly, the year after in 2025, I should be closing it off and then just working on myself because looking at people that I know personally that are trading, they're not in the social community whatsoever. They're kind of
Right.
working on themselves and their businesses.
Yeah.
They never
It's
even
kind
talk
of
about
funny.
trading. It's crazy,
Yeah.
right? Like even my mentor, I'm like talking to him and I'm just like, hey, how come you never do these interviews for like Fortunes or like for the social trade or actually let's not name anybody else. I don't want to promote anyone. Or any of these other prop firms. You
Yeah.
know, like how come you're not on that social media? You're not showing them the profits on your phone or any of that sort. And then he goes, Snow or Shafath, all of that can be faked very easily and can be used for advertising and marketing. A lot of those people don't really even trade themselves.
That's
Now, if
crazy.
you really had the money, let's say if I gave you $5 million and you earned that money today, would you really be out showing this around the whole entire world to other
Not
people? Or
nope.
would you rather be out spending it and working on yourself?
Right. And also
And
not being
that's
a target, bro. Like that's
there
why
you go.
I moved the way
Yep.
I moved. Like sometimes I have to do it because, bro, like that's kind of how you attract. But at the same time, the real me hates to be flaunting or showing profits all the time because there's like a demographic of people that are in need, and when they keep seeing that, bro, they want to ask for help, and it becomes a
Oh,
big burden
it
because you can't
does.
help everybody.
And it's crazy when you see those in your DMs. And I've personally been in that position, and that's the reason why I stopped showing like profits from my phone or like on my computer. Like honestly, I have all like the monitors set up right over here, but I don't really show any of that anymore on social media or publicly at all.
Yeah,
Instead, I just show the RRs and like the charts and like the TAs, and I just leave it at that
yeah, that's always
because
how I liked it, bro, because it's like
yeah,
you can see me working, you can see what that means. It doesn't have to be like flaunting or it's just
yeah,
we come from spiritual, like religious backgrounds, both of us. And so
yeah.
now this camera's doing funny stuff. Ah, man, wrong camera angle. What is hold on a second. Good thing I know how to edit.
No worries, bro. Take your time. It's funny, while I'm doing training right now, I'm trying to get into some IT stuff. I'm trying to learn HTML and
Yeah,
Python right now.
I even took on Linux last year. So I know just a little bit about like um
Oh, snap.
containers. Yeah. Like scripting if
Yeah.
then and I actually applied that to trading. I'm like, bro,
Okay.
the way
Yeah,
we think is like a if then script. You know, it's I loved it. I loved it. You know, sometimes I try to
yeah,
remember the the commands and stuff like that.
yeah,
What's the word? Let's not get into that. But
yeah,
definitely been quite the journey because like you just want to keep challenging your mind and not just
yeah.
taking on challenges, with forex and whatnot. you know. But as we are almost about to wrap this interview, what would you say was the biggest takeaway this year for you as far as seeing that you now got a payout and you're just evolving constantly? Like what was that moment where you're like, wow, I'm really growing and this is really working for me?
So again, this payout I received much early in the year. I did the
Mhm.
interview at the end of the year just because I had so much going on between getting married, traveling, and everything of that sort.
Oh, you got married
Um,
too?
yeah, I got married this year. I got married about a month and a half ago.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, brother.
I'm in
I
my
was
second year.
uh, still surviving.
Still surviving, bro. You took the words right out of my
Oh
mouth. It's
man.
crazy. Yeah,
Oh
that's
boy, but I
awesome.
love it though, brother. Marriage is something that's really life changing. Between marriage and then doing Umrah, which is a religious trip pilgrimage last month, and just
Yeah.
having so much back to back this year together. The main
Mm-hmm.
takeaways from I took from trading that I applied to my daily life, and I was telling my wife this just yesterday too. Alhamdulillah for everything with the losses that I had this year in Q2, particularly, and also looking at the profits made from the last 2 quarters of the year, is
Mm-hmm.
just how, man, it's not just something that I took away from trading, but it's something that I took away from my passion, which is being a competitive bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I was in an accident earlier this year, unfortunately, which led me to several back surgeries and rehabilitation.
Hmm.
And I had to recuperate, learn to walk, run again, and learn to weightlift again.
Wow. That's crazy.
After over a decade, after 10 years of training, I turned 28 just 2 days ago. So after 10 years of training,
Happy belated, bro.
thank you, man, all at once, man, it's crazy.
I know, all
But
at once.
yeah, brother, and it's just it's crazy. And the thing
Life be
is that
lifing.
yeah, man. And having it done all at once, I just realized how much I missed bodybuilding and competing. And I tried to make trading a part of my daily life, where all
Mm-hmm.
the discipline that I have from dieting, training, supplementation, and of course PEDs, because I don't plan on being like a second-rate bodybuilder. I plan on going to the Olympia, which is a Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And I plan
Mm.
to do again the Super Bowl of making profits and trading is the same exact thing. You want to be a millionaire, a billionaire. You want to reach that status where you have FU money, pretty much, or fuck your
Yes,
money or whatever,
sir. Yes,
and you
sir.
don't
I
you don't
like
want to really
that.
deal with people. And of
Yep.
course, you can do that in a lot of industries, but in trading industry, it's consistent with the successful people, even though the rate is very low, and
Yep.
it's due to again their habits. And that's something that my wife had to tell her. Me, since I got discharged from rehab right now, I think I should go back into those same bodybuilding habits, the same habits I built for trading this year, making me a lot more profitable, I would say, in the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It happened because of these disciplinary actions.
That's
The
true.
consistency, again, the consistency of being persistently progressive.
Mm.
That's what took me to where I was in competitive bodybuilding. And that's what took me through every industry in healthcare and law firms. Man, it's just you have to have these disciplinary actions,
You have
not
to.
thoughts. You can't be motivated. You need to be more than just driven. You need to have these disciplinary actions every single day. And it's just it's difficult to be consistent in that field. Now, that's something that I had to come into terms of accepting, but then overcoming it is very different, because a lot of us
Yeah.
say we're going to do shit at the end of the day, but a lot of us end up not doing it. And
Yeah.
it's because we don't take that disciplinary action. So just like bodybuilding, getting all
Hmm.
my 6 to 8 meals in a day, all my shakes, the workouts, I had to do again the journaling, thanks to Luca pointing it out,
Hmm.
doing my back testing, thanks to again Luis or the Don from $1 Million Plan. It had to be consistent with looking at the charts on the most prominent times for me to trade to find the most opportunities to be profitable. It's again, disciplinary action is required. Because if there is no action, then you're just going to be dreaming about being a millionaire or a billionaire in trading, you know?
That's
And
true.
I know we all want to have sports cars, we all want to have houses, we all want to have like own buildings, you know, real estate, this, that, and the third. But you need to take those first few required mandated steps in terms of being disciplined, consistently progressive, and trying to get better at being a profitable trader.
That's it. That's it. And those are the words to stick by. And these are the reasons why we even had an interview like this. These are the foundations, the core habits that made you a fortunate, funded, disciplined trader, bro. And with that, we appreciate you, man. Kudos to you, your success, your healing, the process of you um, finding the different layers of what makes you great continuously. We are looking forward to hear from you again. And brother, thank you so much for being on this call. We tried it yesterday, it didn't work. But again, consistently persistent enough and disciplined enough, and you showed up right on time so we could have a wonderful and amazing interview, bro. And I thank you. I'm proud of you. And
Alhamdulillah, thank you, brother.
if there's anything you would like to say before we finish, you know, a message you would leave for the future, anything like that, this would be the time.
So, a message to the future for all the traders that are watching this is again, the consistency of being persistently progressive is something that I think everyone should take account of. You know, being
Mhm.
disciplined and everything, looking at not just the charts, look at the economy, look at what's going on in the world around you. You know, it's a lot when it comes to trading, but I know that as long as you are trying to be a better trader and not just looking at it for the money, I
Mhm.
think that you guys are gonna do great. Just don't give up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, bro. And everybody who's still watching, thank you for tuning in this far. Once again, brother Shafat, I appreciate you, bro. And keep striving for greatness. And guys, if you're watching, remember, greatness is in you too. Sir Hans Felix signing out. And don't forget to like and subscribe and look out for the promotions. If you would like to also be here as a funded evaluation trader with Fortune's Funding. See you next time.